Hello everyone, this is Yamin and welcome to Web Knowledge. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can make live search in Laravel using Ajax. So here you can see we have a table called employee and we have some data and we show those data over here and we're going to make a search so that we can search anything without reloading or refreshing the page. So let me just go to my code and here you can see this is my home controller. We are getting all the employee data and we are sending the employee data to this view called view employee.blade.php, which is this one over here you can see. So view employee.blade.php. So here you can see the table header and here you can see for each employee as employee we are showing the employee name, email, the phone number, and we also have edit and the delete option. So here, first of all, we're going to create a search option at the top. So for it, here you can see our table over here started. So at the top of the table, we're going to make our search option. Let's say here div, and for this div, we say class. It will be container, and inside this div, we'll create another div, and let's also mention a class here and it will be search, and inside this div we'll say input type. It will be input type will be search, and let's say name equal to search, and here we're going to mention id. It will be search, and let's also say here placeholder. Let's say search something here, and let's say here class equal to form control. This is a bootstrap class form control. So if we now save it, then if we just refresh here, so here you can see a search option at the top. So here let's just make a little bit design for the search. So here you can see div class search. So we'll go to our style.css, and here we are going to say dot search, that class name, and here let's say width it will be 100%, and text align it will be center. Let's say padding top 15 px and padding bottom 15 px. Let's save it and let's refresh. Okay, this is how our search looks right now. So how do you want, if we search anything, it will not refresh, it will just show us the data, search data. So right now, in order to create live search, we need to add jQuery CDN in our view inside the head section. So let me just search for jQuery CDN, and here if you go a little at the down, here you can see W3 school. Just go to the link and here you can see Google CDN. Here you can see the script Ajax jQuery. So let me just copy this script, Control C, and we need to paste this script inside the head section. So let's go back to our code, and here you can see the head. So inside this head we are going to paste the CDN link. So right now we'll go at the down, and here you can see the body part. Now before this body we are going to mention a script here, and inside this script we are going to first give a dollar. We'll give to first bracket and we'll give to single quotation, we'll give hash. And here if you go a little at the top, here you can see for the input type search we mention here id equal to search. Now for creating live search we need to mention id in the input field search. So here you can see search. So let me just copy this, Control C, and we'll paste it over here after this hash. Then we'll give dot, we'll say on, to first bracket, to single quotation we'll say key up, we'll give a comma, we'll say function, to first bracket and to second bracket. So here let me just explain it. Here you can see this dollar, I mean this hash shards, this hash shards, and here you can see key up function. So what will happen is that if someone write anything in this search option, and that's why we give a like the hash search over here, and here you can see the id search. That's why So it means there is a key up and it will call this function. So here if you want to like check it, if we can search properly, let's say here alert, and inside this alert let's say here hello. Now let's save it. Now let me just refresh here, and if I just write anything in this search, it should show us a message hello. So here you can see our local host says hello. So let me just remove this alert. We do not require this alert. So here what we want right now is that whatever we write in the search option, we want to get that data over here. So we'll say here declare a variable, let's say dollar value equal to, we'll say dollar to first bracket, we'll say this, then we'll give a dot val semicolon, indeed with a semicolon. So what will happen is that whatever we write in the search option, it will store that value in this dollar value variable. Okay, let me just show you using alert. So here we'll say alert dollar value. So if you now save it, then if we just refresh here, and if we write if anything, it will if we write like ABC or anything, it will show the message that we search over here. So let's say here H. So here you can see our local host says H. So we can get the value in this dollar value variable. So right now let's remove this alert. So now we'll write some Ajax code. Let's say here dollar dot Ajax, we'll give to first bracket to second bracket, and here we need to end this Ajax using a semicolon. So a lot of you may like make this mistake, forget to give the semicolon. So here in this Ajax we are going to mention which method we want to use for search, and we also going to mention the like route URL and some other things. So first of all, let's say here type, we'll give this clone, then we'll give two single quotation and we'll say get. So the type will be get for our search, and here we're going to say URL, we'll give two single quotation, then we'll give two second bracket, and inside it we're going to say URL to double clone, and we'll say two to first bracket, and inside the single quotation we'll say search. After this we'll give a comma, and then we're going to say data semicolon, we'll give two second bracket, we'll give two single quotation, and we'll say here search, then we'll give this clone and we'll say here dollar value. So what we are doing over here actually is that we are mentioning the method will be get, and we are saying here URL search. It means we are going to create a route call search. Then here you can see this dollar value is actually this one, and we are storing this value in this search data so that we can get the search data in the home controller.php. So after this, if everything is success, so we'll say success and success function, and inside this function we'll say data to second bracket, and here we are going to say console.log, and here we'll say data. So if the search is success, then we need to show that search data in the view. So for it we're going to say here dollar to first bracket to single quotation, and here we're going to mention hash content, let's say hash content, and dot, I think we have to say here HTML data. So if the searching is successful, then we need to show that data, and where we are going to show it, we will actually first get the data and we'll show this data over here, hash this id content. Now where is this id content coming from? So we haven't write the code for the content, so for it let me just go at the top, and here you can see we showed all the data over here, and here is the for each loop. So before this table we're going to mention, let's say t body, and here we're going to mention id, it will be content. Now here you can see this id content is actually this one. So we will show the search data in this tbody id content. Everything will be more clear after a while. So I hope whatever I said over here is more or less a little or more clear to you. I hope if you just get a little bit, I think you will understand it after a little while more. So everything in the view part is done. Now we'll go to our web.php and create this search route. So let's go to our web.php and let me just copy this route, Control C and Control V, and instead of employee we're going to say here search, and let's say our function name will be search as well. So let me just save it and let's go to our home controller and let's create this search function. So this is our home controller and here we're going to say public function search, and let's say here request dollar request. I did a spelling mistake. Okay, so here first of all we're going to write a search query over here. So let me just first declare a variable, let's say dollar employee equal to, we're going to mention the employee model name which is employee. We'll give two double clone and here we're going to say where, we are going to write the where query over here. We'll say name comma to single quotation, we'll say like, then we'll give another comma, then again to single quotation we'll give part sentence. Here let me just keep a dot and we'll say here dollar request, this arrow sign, we'll say search. Then we need to give another dot, another single quotation, part sentence. Okay, so here you can see dollar request search. For now where is this search coming from? If you go to our view employee.blade.php, here you can see that dollar data. Here you can see search value. Here you can see this search is actually this one. So we are getting the search from there. And here you can see we mentioned the name, and here you can see name, email and phone number. Let's say we want to search by name and the email as well. So for it again we'll give this arrow sign and we'll say or. Okay, let me just copy it from here and paste it here. The W will be capital W, and here after we'll say email. So we want to search by name and email. So after this we need to get the data. So we'll say get and indeed with a semicolon. So let me just explain it again. Here we are searching in the table, employee table, using name and email, and we are getting the search. Here you can see request search from here. You can see search value, we are storing the value in the search, that's why. So after this we are going to mention a for each loop for each, and here you can see we mentioned the dollar employee data over here, I mean variable over here. Let me just copy it and paste it here. Dollar employee, we'll say dollar employee as dollar employee. We are just going to mention the same thing, and here inside this for each loop we're going to declare a variable, let's say dollar output, and we'll give equal, and before this equal we need to give a dot sign over here. Now you need to make live search, then you have to give a dot before this equal sign or you will like face some issue. So make sure to give a dot. So after this, and let me just write it like this, we'll give two single quotation and we'll give table row opening and table row closing. Then we need to mention the table data. I'm just writing it like this so that you can, it's more easy to read for you. And here you can see the table row and the table data. So whatever search result we get from here, we'll show it in the table. So how we are going to do it? So in this td we need to give two single quotation, then two dot, and inside it here you can see dollar employee. Let me just copy it, paste it here, and we'll give this arrow sign, let's say here name. So what will happen is that based on the search result, we are going to show the data over here. Okay, so first let's just try with only the name. So after this, we are going to say here return response. Return response will say dollar output. So this output is actually this one. And one more thing is that let's say here at the beginning, the output will be null. So let's say here dollar output equal to null. So let's save it, and I hope everything is fine. Let's save everywhere. So now let's go to our browser and let me just refresh here. Okay, there's error. Okay, the thing is here we need to give a semicolon. So let's go over here, and here you can see now if we write anything like tdtr in the controller, then we need to give a semicolon at the end. So let's save it, and let me just refresh here, and let's say here G. So here you can see the name over here. At the downside we have three name. Let's try with, let's say B. So here you can see we have a few more name over here. Now the thing is, when we are searching, what is happening is that we are getting the search value from here, and here then it will return the response, I mean the data, to our view over here, and it will call the content, which is this one, and this content is actually showing us this trtd data inside it actually. But the thing is we are also showing the previous this for each loop as well. So but what we want is that when we are showing the search result, we do not want to show all those result. Okay, but before that, okay, let's also just show the email and the phone number over here as well. So let me just copy it and paste it here. For this will be for email and this will be for phone number. Let's save it and let me refresh. Let's say here G. Okay, you can see the email and the phone number. We'll do the edit and deleting part a little bit later, but first let's fix this issue. If we search anything, we do not want to show all those previous data. So for that case, the solution is really simple. All we have to do is that we need to use the if condition. So here in the viewEmployee.blade.php, here you can see Ajax blah blah blah, and here you can see the value. So when the value is coming from when we are searching something over here, and then it is showing us the search result. So what we are going to do is that using this value we are going to decide when to show what. So we are going to give a if condition. If we'll say dollar value, if there is any value, then we'll hide something and we'll show something. But how we are going to do it? For it, here you can see the for each loop, dollar employee as employee blah blah blah. So here we are going to mention a t body over here, t body, not before this, just before this for each loop. The t body will start before this for each loop and it will end over here after this for each loop. And here inside this t body we are going to mention a class, and let's say our class name will be, let's say it will be all data. And over here you can see we have another t body for showing the search data. So here we are going to say here a class, let's say it will be search, is CARCH search, it will be search data. So what we'll do that is that, so if there is any value, it means if someone is searching for something, then we will hide this t body part. So here you can see the class equal to all data. So here we are going to say dollar, we'll give two first bracket, two single quotation, and we'll give a dot, we'll say all data, and here we'll say dot show, I mean sorry, not dot show, we'll say dot height. So if there is any value, we'll say we want to hide this data, and then we want to hide that, and we want to show something else, and that is this one, which is search data. So here we'll give a dot. We need to give a dot because this is a class. If we mention id over here is, then we need to give a hash before it. So here we'll say dot show, and let's save it, and we will also give a else condition, else, and the else condition actually will be the opposite. So let me just copy it, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and here instead of hide we'll say here show, and here we'll say hide. So right now if we save it and if we now refresh here, okay, now let's search for GUN. Okay, here you can see we are only seeing this data. Now if we just let's say A, here you can see everything looks perfect. Now let me just show you how we can like show the edit and delete button as well. So for that case, okay, we need to go to our home controller again, and for edit and delete everything will be the same, just a little bit different. So here let me just give another td opening, then td closing, and inside let me just copy it from here. The first one is edit. Let me just copy it and paste it here. So here first of all we'll give two single quotation, and inside it we'll give a dot, and here we'll give two single quotation, and inside it we need to give a dot. Okay, let me just write it like this so that you can see it clearly. Okay, I think we also have to give a dot over here as well. Okay, let me save it and let me just refresh here. I hope there is no issue. Okay, it is fine. Now let's do the same thing for the delete as well. Okay, let me just write another td here, td opening, then td closing, then we'll give this double single quotation and dot, and over here two single quotation and the dot, and let me just copy the edit or delete option, which is this one, copy it and paste it here. This is a little confusing actually, and here we cannot write url and the second bracket, so and the first bracket. Okay, so here we need to give this single quotation and this dot, and here single quotation and this dot and single quotation actually, and we also need to remove this comma and this single quotation. Okay, and then we need to give another single quotation and the dot. Okay, and we also need to give this slash sign before and after if you want to actually delete those data and get the id. We need to give this slash as well. So now let's save it and let me refresh here, and let me just search for something. Let's say this one, DOM. Here you can see, and we can also delete it from here as well. So here you can see there is no that DOM. So let me just search using email. So here you can see, so everything is perfect. So I hope you now learn how you can like live search in Laravel. I try to make this tutorial as easy as possible, that's why that video may be a little bit longer, but I hope you are clear, and you will be clear if you watch this video. And I'll try to give this source code in the comment section if possible, so that you can just copy it out and try it out by yourself. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have any question you can let me know in the comment section, and if you face any problem you can also let me know in the comment section, and I would actually really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, then you will get notification for future content, anything related to Laravel, because I upload Laravel related video every single few days. So I hope this tutorial was useful to you. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned and stay healthy.